Good evening. Welcome back to Crochet with Lulu and friends, because they're all up. Well, one is asleep and the other one's trying to go to sleep, and one's licking my elbow. The other one's on the couch. Yeah. So apparently my elbows needed washing. And forgive the flyaway hair. It's breezy today. Thank you. First of all, thank you for tuning in and watching the video. You know, it's always chaotic. There's some moments, sometimes they're calm, but for the most part, they're a little chaotic. I hope that you all have been enjoying what you're doing. I hope you've had a wonderful week and a wonderful weekend. It's already a little after 7 here in Middle Tennessee on a Sunday evening. I don't know where the day has gone to. I've not been as productive today as I was yesterday. Yesterday I done quite a bit. I did get to go to some yard sales yesterday. I was so excited over some of my finds. And so one of them I will show you now before I get carried away and I don't show you. You know how that is. And I've got it plugged into my charging brick. It is a reading light, and it folds like that, and then there's the little part that fits into the book page. And it's very bright. I mean, as you can tell, it's just, so I'm so excited over it. I've been wanting one. And I just wasn't sure. There was some on Amazon, and of course, I run into this quite often. I don't know what I'm ordering, and I think I'm ordering what I want, and then I get it, and it's not what I wanted. So then I'm stuck, or I'm spending more to send it back, or whatever. And I'd been wanting one, but then I would scroll on down, and I would see a whole bunch for a small price, and I thought, oh, that would be perfect for book club gifts. And then I would think, are they good? You know, for that price, are they good? But I paid $1 for this at the yard sale. It came with the cord and then the light, and there was a little bag with it. And it looks like a spoon. It's shaped like a spoon. So I was so excited. $1. $1. You can't beat that. I need something because occasionally I try to find the books on my Libby app, but occasionally they don't have the books on the Libby app through my library. And then some books, it's a long waiting list. So there's sometimes I just do an audio book to be done with it and to have the book for book club. But occasionally it's on my app, then occasionally. The last book that we just finished was called The Daily Coyote, and I don't have it over here. I have it over at my apartment. If you get a chance to read that, you will enjoy. Her name is Shreve Stockton. Her book is amazing, and it has pictures of the coyotes, and they are beautiful. They are beautiful. I'm not going to give anything away because I didn't read the whole book. But it's the parts I've read and then the parts I listened to the audio was awesome. But the girl that it was her month to choose the book, she actually bought copies for the girls in the book club, and I thought that was just absolutely awesome. And I love the book. It's staying in my library of books because I have really enjoyed talking about it and learning about it. Nikki says hello. He's so much like a human child in the fact that sometimes he wants to be cuddled, sometimes he doesn't. He fights sleep. The only time he really doesn't fight sleep is at night when I put them in their crate, and they immediately, almost 99% of the time, they will just go right to sleep. And they do better at night being together, Seven and Mickey, in their crate with their blankets and all of that, because if I leave them with me, they're pacing back and forth, and Bixby and Sophie's pacing back and forth, and it's a very long night. So they have a huge, huge crate. It's long. I don't even know how long it is. I've not measured it. It's probably about 3.5 foot long, and probably about 3 foot maybe wide, 2.5 feet, 3 foot wide. It's huge. It's a huge crate, and it's real tall, so they enjoy it. And it works wonderful if the mama wants to go in there with them. I can just open the door in the daytime and she can go in there with them, which we leave the crate open in the daytime. They roam about the country freely, quite freely. Today they had a pool party in the back, and they enjoyed that. Gracie, our lab mix, she doesn't want any part of the water, but she likes to be out there with them and watch them play in the pool. And so I will try to put a video on the end. If not, maybe I can attach a picture. Sometimes my app will let me add things, and sometimes it doesn't. It's the iMovie on the Apple phone, and what happened a few minutes ago, I was almost done with the video. I was telling you about the axolotls I'd been making and the dragons with the necklaces I'd been doing to personalize, and my alarm went off. And Apple doesn't make their devices quite like I would make them. When the alarm goes off, it cuts your recording off. And I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. I hate it. Did I say I hate it? One of the several features I hate about the Apple phones. I hate that when you're recording, you can't do what am I trying to say? You have to turn your camera all the way around to record if you're already in recording mode. And I hate that. I had an Android before I got the Apple phone, and it had the, I think the rear and the front camera it's called. But anyways, I'm going to show you the little things I've been making. I've made my third dragon by the Rhonda Butler tutorial. And I'm sorry if I seem like I'm in Lululand, which we all know that I am. But like I said, I had the video almost completed, and the alarm went off and it cut me off. And so now I'm trying to struggle with what I've said that video and have I said it in this video. So if I repeat myself, forgive me. I've been making some face scrubbies, and I do not know the name of this yarn. It was just a ball of yarn that I had in my stash. I'm sure it's probably a Red Heart Super Saver. I just don't know the name of it, but I love those colors. I just love the colors. So I've been making some face scrubbies, and then I have made, I don't even know how many axolotls I've made, and it's a Rhonda Butler tutorial. If you have not checked her out, please do so. She does awesome tutorials, and I can follow her. I struggled at first how to do the spikes. And then I kept looking at her video, and then I kept looking at, at her end product, and I thought, surely I can do this. And they're not perfect. None of mine are perfect, but I'm having fun. And I love the placement of the eyes that she does, because it looks like a real, it looks real. And then here is the other one. These will go to Washington State. I have a cousin that wanted these, and so she told me the colors. And at first we had gray on this for the spikes and the I guess the fin. And then she decided and I didn't think it looked good. The green kind of washed out the gray, and the gray kind of, it just didn't look good together, that particular gray. If it had been a dark gray, it probably would have looked okay. But I love his little hands and feet. I just think they're so sweet. Rhonda Butler is awesome. She does so many tutorials. The dragons are so good to make, but I struggle doing the dragons because they are, to me, because I'm not a very fast crocheter, they are a long process for me. Sorry about the bag crinkling. I've got to where I buy the little lunch paper bags so that I can write who they go to. And then once I get ready to mail that, I'll have to get it, a box and lay them in so they don't get all smushed up. But the dragon, to me, the longest process is because you've got to do the 2 arms, the 2 legs, the toenails on all 4 of those. You do the spikes or the horns. You do the tail. You do the muzzle. And then it's she does the dino or the dragon. So she shows you how to do all the extra components that you want to put on them. So to me, it seemed the longer process trying to make the 2 arms and the 2 legs. And then the other parts are kind of quick because the little spikes or horns doesn't take very long, and the tail doesn't take very long, even the little muzzle. But I do struggle with sewing the muzzle on. She is so good, and she uses straight pins. I don't use straight pins because I'm always afraid I'll lose them in the floor, and will find them. I cringe about stitch markers, so I'm very careful how many I take out of my little box and how many I put, and then I know how many I need to put back in. Usually just for anything, I will get out 1 stitch marker because they will find it. They will find it. And then another thing I had to buy this week was filling. And I've opened it. I think I've used just very little of it. 16 ounce, and I got it on Walmart.com, and I believe it was $5.97, I think. So I didn't think that was bad at all. There was some that I looked at that was very expensive, and I thought, oh my word. But now I'll tell you what I did do, and which it might not be the best idea, but I've seen several people do this. I had been saving my little fiddly, like, when you cut your tails and all of these extra yarn bits off, or if you frog something, and I'm bad sometimes to have knots, so then I have to cut back to a certain point, unless it's a blanket that you can kind of hide it in the stitches, or an amigurumi that you can hide it on the inside. Some, like the face scrubbies, you just can't hide a knot. Doilies, you can't hide a knot. You just really have to watch. So I had a lot of fiddly bits. And then I had some big clumps of yarn that I just didn't have the patience to unravel or ravel. I didn't have the patience to ravel and try to get the knots out. So I kept them in a baggie, and I thought they'll come in handy, because when I'd made the little pumpkins last year, I used my fiddly bits of yarn. Well, the other day I was making the dragon arms and hands, and I knew I was running low on my fiberfill. And I thought, what can I do? And so I remembered that little baggie of all that yarn. So I thought, I'm going to use that in the feet and the hands. And it worked out wonderful. If you make anything a light color and some of your fiddly bits of yarn are dark, you don't want to do that. Trust me, from experience, you can see. And especially if your stitches spread open on your amigurumi. So just be very mindful of those things. The other thing was, when I made my dragon, I didn't do the eyes exactly like Rhonda does. She's so good. She's awesome. I love watching her. It's so therapeutic for me to just watch a lot of my crochet videos, tutorials, that because I'm so amazed that they know, they do so wonderful, and they know exactly what to do. But when she does the muzzle, she uses the straight pins, and I don't. Like I said, I'm afraid they'll find them. So my little muzzles are usually kind of lopsided. Then at one of the ending spots, she sews the eyes. She uses the safety eyes, but she brings the eyes a little closer together, and then she puts the little details around the eyes. And I just have not felt confident enough yet to do that. So mine do look different. They look different. But I'm pleased with them. And what I've been doing is, and I don't have it, I think it's way over there in a bag. I had bought at the Dollar Quarter Tree a little bag of their beads. They're little square beads, and they're the alphabet. And I thought, about the only thing I can do is make some stitch markers out of safety pins, and just put little alphabet, spell love or whatever on the, and I thought, but I thought, surely I can find something. Well, I have. The dragons I've been making, and you may see if I can get it attached to the end of this video, I make them a necklace that matches the toenails and the fingernails and the little spikes on the top. I cut a big strand of that, and I put their name on the necklace. And what I done with the two yesterday that I made, I didn't try to sew it in. Now, the first dragon I made, I did sew the dragon, or I did sew the necklace in to the back of the neck. But I didn't try with this yesterday. I tightened it tight enough, and then I just left the two little strands of yarn sticking out. I made them even, but the necklaces were so cute. And I found a little dino, and I don't remember, so I'm not going to say any names because I'm not exactly sure who I followed the tutorial, but he was so cute. It was kind of it was the same green that I done, the green axolotl that I just showed. And I made the little dino a necklace that just said dino. And I thought he was cute. So I'm going to try to incorporate that on some of the plushies I make if they're for older children. Now, all three dragons were for older children. So, there's lots of things that you wouldn't do for a tiny child. Like if I was doing it for somebody that was probably under 8, I wouldn't put safety eyes. I would probably just sew the eyes on, and I wouldn't put the necklace because, choking hazards and all that. But let's see, yesterday I went to the yard sale. I mowed some on the yard, and then I crocheted. Today I've done very little crocheting, and I've got about probably 4 or 5 strips in the front yard that I didn't finish. So shame on me today because I've not been productive. Some days I just have to take a break from a lot of things, and social media is not one of them that I'm ready to take a break from. I enjoy watching my YouTube people. I love watching so many YouTube videos. And I'm not even going to start naming names because I will feel so guilty when I go back and watch that I've left a bunch out. And I do that. I'm bad to do that anyways. And then I feel so bad because I think, oh, I didn't mention so and so, and they're some of my favorite. But I tell you, I'm so addicted to watching all of my YouTube friends. They're just amazing, and the work that they do. But like I said, Rhonda Butler is excellent at showing tutorials, because the axolotl, I just did not feel comfortable. I'd watched a couple of other video tutorials. Excuse me, my allergies are terrible today. I just didn't feel comfortable to doing them. And then there's no way I would have tried to have done another dragon until I seen Rhonda's tutorials. She is with you. I mean, if you've got 4 or 5 rows, she might on some things say finish those rows and meet me back here at such and such row. And that's okay, because it's straight single crochets. You know, you just count every crochet stitch and make sure to keep your stitch markers there and all that. And that's wonderful. But for the most part, she's with you every stitch for the most part. And I love that, because I'm still not confident in doing a lot of these yet. And there's so many more that I want to learn how to do. I want to make a giraffe so bad. And I want to do a zebra and an elephant. Oh my word. There's just so many I want to do. I wanted to do the frog. I did the little bitty frog that I done for my son's girlfriend's little boy. And he loves them. I took a picture of him on the porch yesterday, and he was holding his little dragon and his axolotl and his dino. I call him my little tester, because if he likes them, then I know they're going to be okay. So he's so precious. He's just so appreciative to what I do for him, and which isn't much, but I do. He's my little tester friend, and so, like I said, if he likes them, I know they're okay. But that's really all I have to share with you. Christmas extravaganza will be coming up July 1st. So stay tuned for, I'm going to try to do a video every day. So far, I have 21 videos already pre-recorded. Christmas extravaganza, I'm going to go ahead and give you a little detail about what it will be about. You will have different crochet items that we will show. There's several doing it, and I'm not sure who all is doing it yet. I do know K&K Crochet is doing Christmas extravaganza. So watch them, watch me, and see who else is involved. If you make any of the objects that you see on any of our channels, if you will, when you put it on your channel, if you will just use the hashtag Christmas extravaganza 2025. That way we can all see your projects and get ideas as well. Color options, all of those things. And not everybody makes everything identical. You know, you change a stitch, or you change just how you do it, like the spikes. The first few times I tried to do the spikes on the axolotls, I couldn't do them right. They just didn't. I don't know what I was doing wrong. But after I kept watching the tutorial, I seen where I was making my mistakes, and I'm sure there's many mistakes that you'll find in my amigurumis, but I'm trying. I'm learning, and I'm having so much fun. But Christmas extravaganza will be different crocheted items. Some people will do knit. They'll do recipes, tips, hints, all kinds of things. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be fun. I'm so excited to be participating. And as I said, I'm going to try to do a video every day, and I've already got 21 or 22 pre-recorded. So I'm excited. I'm so excited. Craft fair, I think, is in October in our little town, and I'm sitting up with my friend again, and I'm excited about that. So I'm still trying to make enough things that I can have extra to, ahead to take for that. Because, I mean, as we know, time is flying so fast. So fast. I think I was asked about Christmas extravaganza March, I believe. So here we are. We're almost at July 1st. So time's going so fast. And I want to try to stay ahead of the game this year. Last year I was kind of lagging because I kept thinking, oh, I've got time. But as we know, it slips up before we know it. But that's really all the crochet news I have. If any of you know of a good giraffe, easy, a Lulu friendly amigurumi giraffe, an elephant, and there was something else I wanted to make. It escapes me. A lot of things escapes me these days. Oh my word. But I had company week before last. I had company the first part of this week. Wednesday, I took a friend of mine in her car to a bigger town here in Middle Tennessee. We had the best trip. The traffic was not bad. We just had the best time. We like to laugh and say silly things and cut up, and so we just really had a good time. But that's really, a book club was Friday, and I hope I didn't mention it in this tutorial. In this tutorial. See my mind. I hope I've not already mentioned it in this video, but if I have, please forgive me, because we know I'm absent-minded, and I have tried 3 videos to get this video out. Shreve Stockton is the author, and the book was called The Daily Coyote. It is absolutely wonderful. Now, I didn't read all of it, and I hope that I'm not mentioning 2 or 3 times, but it was an excellent book. So if you can find it on your phone, on one of your apps, an Audible, or I have Libby is my local library app, and I enjoy that. So I had it on there, and I ended up, the very ending of the book, chapters 11 through 13, I believe it was, I listened to the audio, and it was, the narrator was awesome. I really liked her. So our next month's read, which we will start this coming up Friday, we're starting Where the Crawdads Sing. Now, I've seen the movie, but I've not read the book. I've got the audio on my Libby app, so I've already started listening to that. I enjoyed the movie, so I may go back and watch the movie again once I do the audio and take notes. I need to start, every time I do the audio, take notes. Because in a book, you can kind of put a piece of paper on a certain page and remember where the quote or whatever you're wanting to bring up in book club, a certain topic, you can always mark it in your book. But with audios, you can't do that as easily. So I have been trying to take notes. Now, I didn't with the Daily Coyote, but I remembered enough of what had happened that I was able to participate in the topic. So anyways, I'm rambling. I'm so tired. I do not know, unless it's my age, why I'm staying so drained here lately. I just feel like I wake up 2 or 3 times during the night, and usually I wake up 3 or 4 o'clock and I can't get back to sleep. this morning, I woke up several times, but I call it conking out. I would just conk right back out. And I was so thankful because I needed sleep. But then all day today, I have felt just really tired. And I mean, I could say the heat, or I had a salad, a little while ago. You can always try to pinpoint what, but the bottom line is I'm tired and I don't know. I don't know why. I, th- I Again, I say it's my old age, but I'm not that old. So I will have my birthday next month, and I will officially be able to eat at the senior center free. That's exciting to me. That is exciting to me. I couldn't wait till I got the age to get senior discounts, and I believe that was 55. So I'd go to the grocery store and I'd say, oh, I'm 55. So I'd get my 5% discount. That was just so awesome. Just so awesome. And then there was several places that I would get senior discounts for being 55 and older. So now I'll be the big 6-0, and I will get to eat free. I'll get a little card, so I'll probably show you the card. Oh my word, such little things excite me anymore. Such little things. My shoes that I found at the yard sale, well, actually, my son's girlfriend found them for me. Name brand shoes that I can wear every day and go out in public and not be ashamed. You know how it is. We find that one pair of shoes, I will wear them until they completely, and the ones I'm just about to throw away, and I'm thinking, I can use those doing the yard work in. They're horrid. They look awful. They look like they're probably 10 years or more old. They've been through some major events, and I've had them for probably 2 years. But I'm rough on shoes because if they're comfortable, I wear them everywhere I go. You will very rarely see me in dress shoes because I don't like shoes. I love to look at shoes and I love buying shoes, but I don't like to wear shoes. I am terrible. I am terrible. I go barefoot most of the time, 98% of the time. I only wear shoes when I go out in public or to go from here to the basement or to the backyard. Yeah. So I'm very, very anti of wearing shoes. But I'm going to get off from here. I'm rambling and I'm tired. So I hope you all will have a wonderful week. I will try to get back sooner than what I have. I've been posting little snippets of things I've made, but that's been about the extent of my YouTubing the last couple of weeks. So I do apologize that I haven't had any major content other than, the things that I have been making. So have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful Monday. Stay safe. Stay hydrated. Oh, it is so humid here in Middle Tennessee. It has just been so humid. Seems like it just came out of nowhere. And I knew it was going to because we always have it in the summer. We don't normally have dry heat here in the South in Tennessee. It's usually very muggy, very humid. It's shocking if we don't have the high humidity. It's very shocking. My mother used to say it was close. She would always use that expression, and I really don't know what that means, except it's very humid and your breathing is just like, so be careful if you're out working in this heat. Stay hydrated. I had bottled water yesterday sitting on the porch when I would stagger. When I would stagger up from doing my little piddly yard work. Oh my word, 10 years ago I could have had that done in probably 15 minutes and been just fine, but now I'm elderly and it takes me longer. Have a wonderful week and join me back next time for more Crochet with Lulu and Friends in Lululand with many topics. Bye-bye.